All right, good morning. We're going to get started. Thank you for joining us on day 2. I'm going to ask Justin to do the roll and the instructions.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Bradshaw. Commissioner Cruz. Commissioner Eager.
Here.
Commissioner Elliott. Vice Chair Falcone.
Here.
Commissioner Gardino. Commissioner Lugo.
I'm here online.
Commissioner Mann. Commissioner Tiffany. Chair Grisby.
Present.
Senator Cortese. Assemblymember Wilson. Chair, we have quorum. Now for our webinar logistics. Welcome everyone to day 2 of the October 2025 CTC meeting in Merced. The meeting agenda is located on our website at www.catc.ca.gov. All the presentations for today's meeting are also available on the Commission Meetings page of our website under the View Download Meeting Materials tab. Any document the CTC creates can be translated into any language you need. Simply email us at ctc@catc.ca.gov. We'll have them returned to you as quickly as possible. American Sign Language translation is being provided on the webinar. You should see the translators on your screen. Live closed captioning is also available. Please select the Show Captions tab at the bottom of your screen. There are a number of language options available there to choose from. Presenters, if you're on the agenda to make a presentation, please do your best to be succinct. Please remember to speak at a steady pace to allow our translating services adequate time for accurate translation. If you're presenting remotely, we hope that you turn on your camera during your presentation if you have one. Members of the public, we welcome comments from the public as a part of each item at this meeting. For those attending in person, please submit a speaker slip to the clerk at the front of the room. That's me, right here. Please do not use the drop box in the back. You can bring them up front here. For those attending via Zoom, you should see the webinar control panel, likely located on the bottom of your screen. There you will find the raise hand and Q&A tabs. We encourage you to use the raise hand feature as early into the item as you can to give the system time to acknowledge you. Commission staff will let you know when it's your turn to make your comment. Alternately, you may use the Q&A tab to submit your comment. Please be sure to include the agenda item number you're commenting on. Commission staff will read the comment on your behalf. And as a reminder, each registered attendee is provided a unique link and number to access the webinar, and they should not be shared with other participants. And this can create confusion for staff when you're trying to make comments. Please do your best to be concise. Be sure that your comments add new information. If you agree with the comments of a previous speaker, simply make that statement. Remember to speak at a steady pace to allow our translating services adequate time for accurate translation. And since we often have many speakers, we ask you to make your point in 2 minutes or less. And if for some reason we have many speakers on a single topic, we reserve the right to limit comments to 1 minute if needed. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Justin. Now we're going to move to item 70, resolutions of necessity. Tim.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 70 is an action item. There are 2 resolutions of necessity under this item. The hearings were requested by legal counsel who is representing both property owners, Baum Wetlands and Los Cerritos Wetlands, due to impacts to their properties from a bridge rehabilitation project on State Route 1 in Los Angeles County. The project will address non-standard bridge railing, insufficient bridge width, and provide adequate pedestrian infrastructure and a Class 2 bike lane. Prior to presenting this item, I wanted to note the Commission received a letter yesterday afternoon from legal counsel representing the property owners, and it has been distributed to the Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to ask if the property owners or a representative are in attendance or participating virtually.
I'm not seeing any hands raised virtually.
Anyone in the room? Okay, before hearing from Caltrans, I'd like to briefly cover what will be discussed. The Baum Wetlands property is approximately 4.25 acres and is currently vacant, unimproved land. And the required area from this property is 1,508 square feet for a temporary construction easement and 1,853 square feet for a temporary access easement. The Los Cerritos Wetlands property is approximately 7.3 acres and is currently in use as a flood control channel. The required area from the Los Cerritos property is 1,842 square feet for a temporary construction easement. The requested temporary easements are necessary to provide space for a temporary trestle during construction and to support construction equipment to drive piles into the riverbed to support the bridge widening. They will also provide room for the contractor to work around existing utilities. Under eminent domain law, a property owner whose property is under condemnation consideration has the right to appear before the commission to question 3 of the 4 findings that are required to be met for section 1245-230 of the Code of Civil Procedures prior to the commission adopting a resolution. The 3 findings are: does public interest and necessity require the proposed project? Is the project planned and located in a manner that will be most compatible with the greatest public good and least private injury? And is the property necessary for the proposed project? The 4th finding requires an offer to acquire the property in accordance with the Government Code Section 7267.2 has been made to the owner of record. It is the commission's understanding the department provided this offer on August 1st, 2024 for the Baum parcel and June 12th, 2024 for the Los Cerritos parcel. The commission neither determines the amount of compensation for the property rights to be acquired nor deals with any other issue other than the first 3 findings. Code of Civil Procedures specifies 8 affirmative votes are needed for commission approval of a resolution of necessity. I'd like to ask again if the property owner or the representatives are in the room or virtual.
I'm not seeing any hands raised online.
Thank you. With the property owner not being here to participate in the Ron hearing and the Caltrans responses to contentions in the posted book item, I recommend we skip the Caltrans presentation on this item.
Agreed to.
Thank you. Since there are 2 Rons under this individual item, I would like to take separate votes for each parcel. So I'll make my recommendations individually. Commission staff has reviewed the proposed Ron and concludes Caltrans has met the statutory requirements and therefore recommends approval of the Ron for the Baum Wetlands parcel.
Second.
So, motion by Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Eager. Is there any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Unless there's any comments or questions from the dais, is there all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, Tim.
And we have one, we'll take the
Oh,
second
that's right, the
parcel.
second one,
Yep.
yes. Thank you.
Commission staff has reviewed the proposed Ron and concludes Caltrans has met the statutory requirements and therefore recommends approval for the Ron for the Los Cerritos Wetlands parcel.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
So moved by Tiffany, seconded by Bradshaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, thank you, Tim. Now we're on to item 71. Cherry.
Tab 71 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the Albion River Bridge project in Mendocino County. The lead agency, Caltrans, adopted an environmental impact report and statement of overriding considerations for this project, finding benefits outweigh the impacts. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
Thanks so much. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the dais? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
So moved by Bradshaw, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 72 is also Cherry.
Tab 72 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the I Street Bridge Replacement Project in the cities of Sacramento and West Sacramento. The lead agency adopted an environmental impact report and statement of overriding considerations for this project, finding benefits outweigh the impacts. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the dais?
I just want to say it's a great project. I've been working on this for a long time indirectly. I Street Bridge we've been talking about, it connects West Sac and Sacramento. So I want to make a motion to approve.
Great.
I'd
Sweet. So moved by, yeah, exactly. It's an important bridge. So moved by Cruz, seconded by Eager. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Item 73, also Cherry.
Tab 73 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the Scenic Route 68 Corridor Improvements Project in Monterey County. Caltrans adopted an environmental impact report and statement of overriding considerations for this project, finding benefits outweigh the impacts. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the dais? Is
Yeah,
there
I
a
would
motion?
just, I would
Oh,
just say that
Commissioner Tiffany.
this is a road I drive often, and this is, I think, a very good project, and I would make a motion to approve.
All right. So moved by Tiffany, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Item 74, Cherry.
Tab 74 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the California State Route 39 San Gabriel Canyon Road reopening project in LA County. Caltrans adopted an environmental impact report and findings for this project, finding that impacts would be less than significant with the implementation of mitigation measures. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
All right. Thank you, Cherry. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the dais or a motion?
Motion to approve.
So moved by Commissioner Bradshaw. Second, is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Item 75, Cherry.
Tab 75 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the 7th Street Bridge Replacement Project in Stanislaus County. Stanislaus County adopted an environmental impact report and statement of overriding considerations for this project, finding benefits outweigh the impacts. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
All right, thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Tiffany, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you, Cherry. Now we're moving on to item 76, Tim.
Commissioners, tab 76 is an information item. Pursuant to Government Code Section 14526.6, Caltrans is required to report to the Commission quarterly for projects which complete construction in the previous quarter for all major shop projects. The report also provides an update on project milestones to show how well Caltrans is meeting its commitments to deliver projects funded out of the STIP, SHOP, and locally funded programs where Caltrans is the implementing agency. Sujaya Kalanisan, and I'm happy to say that I can change the title to remove the word acting. Caltrans Division Chief of Project Management is here to provide a presentation on the fourth quarter project delivery report for fiscal year 2024-25.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Grisby, Commissioners, Chief Deputy Galaswiski, and Transportation Partners. My name is Sujaya Kalanisan, and I'm the Division Chief for the Division of Project Management. Today, I will be presenting a brief overview of the project delivery report for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 24-25. I will also talk about some of the continuous improvements we're making to strengthen our project delivery, and I will provide you a brief snapshot of how we're doing in the current quarter of the current fiscal year. Next slide, please. This slide gives you a good snapshot of how we ended the fiscal year 2024-25. We achieved 83% delivery. We planned 250 projects to be delivered in the fiscal year, and we delivered 207 of them. In the past, you'd asked about carryover projects and that we consider it. This 250 includes the carryover projects. And the 83% is the delivery rate considering projects carried over from several previous fiscal years. 43 of those projects were impacted, as in they were either unparred to be potentially reprogrammed in a future year, or we are working on them through time extensions. I also want to point out that 88 of those projects were delivered in June. And the reason I'm pointing that out is in the past, we've had questions about, is it realistic to expect a large part of the portfolio to be delivered in the last quarter? That trend has been consistent over the years, and we did manage to deliver most of them in the last quarter. Also, I want to point out that 40% of our portfolio had significant risks to them. I had highlighted the complex and the multiple risks on several projects, but we were able to work through them thanks to just the incredible diligence and hardworking project delivery teams, the advice from the commission and the commission staff. We were able to move forward and reach 83% delivery. Now, you will see another number in the fourth quarter project delivery report, which is 86% delivery. That number does not consider the carryover projects. So 83 would be the comprehensive delivery percentage. Next slide, please. Okay. Here are some percentages on the milestones that we achieved throughout the project delivery process. As you can see there on the percentage completed column, we've on an average achieved somewhere around 85% completion across all milestones. And that is very consistent with the last 5-year average, which is shown in the last column. I do want to point out that row 5 there, which shows the capital value ready for allocation, we've achieved 92% in the last fiscal year, which is significantly higher than the previous several fiscal years. The dollar value that we delivered versus planned was at 4.4 million compared to the 4.4 billion compared to the 4.8 billion planned. Next slide, please. Okay. We're digging deeper into that 5-year trend data that I shared in the previous slide. The graph there on top shows the annual commitment percentage achieved for the capital dollar value planned. Again, like I said, we achieved 92% of the planned capital value, which is at 4.4 billion. And the graph below shows how many projects we completed in construction. And that, again, has been significantly higher the last fiscal year than the previous fiscal years. We achieved 214 projects completed construction, and that's 80%, which is much higher than the previous 2 fiscal years. Next slide. This slide shows construction costs 6 months after a project completed construction. And we've laid out the STIP and shop dollars there. We're showing the savings that we achieved, comparing the planned budget versus expended dollars. Again, this is very consistent with a 5-year trend, 87% versus 88% average. Next slide, please. Okay, now I want to talk about some of the continuous improvements we're doing to strengthen our project delivery. When I presented the last fiscal year, there were a lot of questions on how are you managing your delivery? I highlighted a lot of the risks, which some of them were typical, some of them were more complex. And you wanted to know what we were doing currently and what we were doing in addition to those in order to achieve some of those risk mitigation. So I outlined a lot of the delivery forums that we had, the discussions and the collaborative meetings we have, but we've added several other new initiatives to our delivery process. One of them is the high-risk workshop. Because we bucketed so many risk types last fiscal year, we wanted to look deeper into how those risks originated and how can we better mitigate them. So we called our leadership team and we had a half-a-day risk workshop where we looked into each of the risk area. The goal was to identify some low-hanging fruit for quick action, as well as revisit some of the more complex topics in the future to find better solutions for them. And I'll cover a little bit more of it in the next slides. The next thing we did was project delivery training. I had also pointed out in the past that we had a lot of new staff and they're figuring out the project delivery process, and not all of them had completed a very complex project. That impacted some of the risks on our project. So our project delivery training will be this boot camp or crash course, which brings subject matter experts across the different areas of expertise in Caltrans, and it offers a quick training for anybody that's taking on a project delivery responsibility relatively new. The next item we're doing is project delivery team meeting guidance. PDT meetings, or the project delivery team meetings, are a key, mechanism for how we manage our project on a day-to-day basis. And we see a lot of value in providing some tools for effectively managing that meeting. So we're putting out new guidance for it. And of course, we're doing a lot of streamlined reporting and tracking, and we're focusing on early design. So we identify our risks early in the phase of the project. Next slide, please. This slide shows the risk workshop that we did. This was in Oakland, and the pictures there are from the real workshop. The deputies and the assistant deputies of the various project delivery divisions met. The division chiefs were there, and we looked at the key risk areas like right-of-way, utility agreement, various other, scope-related changes, engagement, complete streets, all the different complexities that we faced in the portfolio last year. So we bucketed them into 5 risk types, and we looked at it. And I've laid out the risk areas there. We had a really good discussion, and we came up with some action items for the next 90 days. We're also going to have a lot of collaborative project management board meetings with the other project delivery divisions, so that should help address our risks better. Next slide, please. This is again, the picture there is from the mock workshop we did. We put together new training content for our new PMs and PEs. This is very unique in terms of training because it's a hands-on workshop. It's a laptop, cell phone-free workshop where project managers and project engineers can collaborate and discuss project issues. It also has a curated menu of project delivery content where every team can focus on the typical project delivery issues that they face and could be unique from one project to another. And the menu delivers their need. So it's quite a unique way of training staff, and we've just developed this. We did a mock of it, and we received some great feedback. We're going to be rolling that out to all the districts shortly. Next slide, please. Okay, now for the current fiscal year, 25-26, we have 228 projects in our CFT. 138 of those projects have some level of risk identified, whether it's low, medium, or high. About 90 of them, we say no risk. They don't necessarily not have risks, but it's typical risks that we think we can manage. The total capital dollar planned is $5.8 billion. That includes multiple fund sources. Next slide, please. Okay. In terms of delivery, we also pointed out in the previous discussions that we will try and hold our teams to quarterly delivery to try and achieve milestones sooner in the fiscal year. We are trying to do that this fiscal year. As you can see there, our draft environmental document is at 16% completed at the end of first quarter. Ideally, it could be 25%, but our project milestones never align themselves such that most of them are in first quarter. They're in the later quarters. So given that, I think the 16% is a really good delivery percent. And you can see about the same percentage across the different milestones. So I think we're doing pretty good for the first quarter. I think that's about the end of my presentation. Thank you. I can take any questions.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's go to public comment first.
There is no public comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais? I see Commissioner Tiffany.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Sujaya, first of all, congratulations on no longer being acting. As you referenced in your presentation, we really appreciate progress that you've made over the last year. I know that a lot of us up here have talked about, lessons learned and getting that spread across all districts. And it looks like with the training, statewide training, you're having some impact in that area. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for listening, and we appreciate your efforts to move us in a positive direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I see Vice Chair Falcon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sujaya, congratulations. No wonder you were in such a good mood yesterday when I saw you. And this is really great trending. Well, ask.
This is the interpreter. I can't hear anything. Can anybody hear me?
So I briefly pointed out that we have a management board. This is in all the single districts. The head divisions are up. The various challenges, making it even collaborative this next meeting that every other people. That helps daylight a lot of. We're having our project delivery guidance staff that are placed very closely with staff. So we identify amendments, disk issues way sooner. We're looking at.
Can you hold on another minute? We're having some audio issues.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Hey, should I start over? It's a great question to be stuck on. I can brag about all the great things we do. All right, so to begin with, I think we're improving the amount of collaboration across the districts, just discussing project delivery issues. Like I pointed out, the project management board is one that we bring district leadership into, and we talk about project issues. Now we're doing it collaboratively with other project delivery divisions. This will specifically target those risk buckets that I pointed out. We're also looking at, early engagement. I pointed out to the early design. We also talked about AB 1282 in the past. So we're continuing to work on all those areas. We're looking at efficiencies across our project delivery process. You saw the Gen AI presentation yesterday. We're looking at ways in which we can make our workload efficient so we can focus more on strategic thinking. And we're exploring tools and how we can improve our project delivery processes by using new and innovative tools. So there are tons of things we're doing. I will keep updating you as we achieve success with those measures.
Thank you, Sujaya, and congratulations from moving from acting to permanent. It is so well deserved, and this is really exciting to hear this update. Keep going and keep us posted. Thank you. Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions or comments from the desk? Mr. Keck?
Thank you. I think this is a good opportunity to tie in with Sujaya's discussion. We talked about the really great delivery we had last year after some stumbles, I think, in the year before. Appreciate the commission's focus on that. Very much appreciate Sujaya's focus on that. She talked about the really tremendous dollar value of projects that were delivered last year, and also that many of them were delivered and allocated in the last month of the year in June. Actually, most of them were delivered in June, and a great deal of them were allocated very early this year. We saw really large shop allocations in the first meeting and again today. And that creates a little bit of a problem that we haven't seen in quite some time. And what is really happening is, despite the fact that the allocation capacity for the current year is exactly in line with the 2024 fund estimate and the very recently adopted 26 fund estimate, the fact that so many projects have voted this year puts us a little bit out of sync. So the allocation capacity target is kind of a moving target. It often increases throughout the year. We've already increased it, I think 111 million, as Keith mentioned yesterday, because of August redistribution. We're receiving bid savings at a very significant rate this year. I think we're up to 156 million already in G12 savings just in the first quarter, which is much greater than what we normally see. It's going to depend on if this bidding environment continues, and also what kind of emergencies we see this year. So I want to put the commission just sort of on notice that we have formed an executive team to look at the tightness in capacity this year. We're developing a plan to deal with that, and also to make sure this doesn't become an ongoing rolling problem. So we're looking at a short-term fix and a long-term fix for this. We'll be reporting that in future meetings, but I think this is a really great touch point so that nobody's surprised when we start talking about it.
All right, thank you so much. That's very helpful. Any other questions or comments
And,
for this?
just
Commissioner Tiffany?
I assume you're referring to, if I recall, it's 51% for the shop through August. And so that's the point in specifically you're
Absolutely,
referring
yes.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think yesterday was the Commissioner Eager asked the question about total capacity. So Keith was thinking, and we talked to him last night, total capacity includes all the other programs. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware that we are absolutely keeping an eye on shop capacity. But in total, with all the different programs, we probably will hit about 80%.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hearing no other questions or comments, thank you for your presentations. Congratulations to you and your team, and congrats on being permanent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're on to item 77. Lori.
Morning, Commissioners. Tab 77 is an action item requesting an allocation of $50,935,000 for the Excelsior Expressway project in Fresno and Kings counties. This amount includes both State Transportation Improvement Program and Local Partnership Program formulaic funds. The increase, which is approximately 14 million, represents a 43.1% increase over the originally programmed amount and is split between the STIPS regional and interregional shares. The cost increase is primarily due to design refinements, including the addition of right turn lanes and a sound wall for environmental mitigation, which increased excavation and material needs. Adjustments to drainage systems and the installation of temporary signals at intersections further contributed to higher costs. Rising material prices, particularly for hot mix asphalt and structural materials, also contributed to the increase. Local agencies are contributing an additional 15,273 million to support the increase. Staff recommends your approval.
All right, thank you, Lori. Let's go to public comment first.
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I'd like to recognize Commissioner Eager.
Thank you. And I'll try not to cry when I get through this one. Yeah. So about 5 years ago, I got a call from a local elected official and said, there's a woman that would like to meet with you. She saw in the newspaper that you got appointed to the CTC and she needs to tell you a story. So Diana Gomez and I went to go meet with her. Her brother-in-law had just been killed on this road, maybe 3 weeks before. And she said, I'm the 20th person I know whose family members have been killed on this road. This particular section has been in the queue for over 20 years and never made it to the top. And this is an area where you go from Fresno to Lemoore Naval Air Station out to the Central Coast or vice versa. And it goes from 4 lanes to 2 and then back to 4 in a short period of time. And there's a lot of trucks that go back and forth and people going back and forth. And you can't see when that truck's coming around that corner. And so we went and met on that corner and 20 family members came out. And all of them had had people who had died on that stretch. And Diana and I promised them that we'd get to this day. So I'm sorry Diana's not here. Sorry. But if those family members are on the line, and I know they said they would be listening, we hope this gives you some sort of peace that you fought the good fight. And you never gave up this entire 5 years. So with this, I'd like to make a motion.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Much appreciate it. Seconded by Commissioner Falcon. I'll pause to see if there's any questions or comments. Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, Commissioner. Would you like to be recognized for something?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If it pleases the chair and the commission, Leanne, perhaps you can close today's meeting in memory of those who have lost their lives on this.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to items 78 through 92. Tim.
Commissioners, I'll be taking tabs 78 through 92 with a recommendation at the end. Please note changes to tabs 81 and 83 as identified on the change list. Tabs 78 through 92 are all action items for SHOP projects with at least one phase requesting initial allocations that exceed the programmed amount by more than 20%. These projects include many different types of projects, including major damage, roadway rehabilitation, bridge rehabilitation and replacement, ADA, drainage system restoration, and safety improvements. 4 of the projects being considered are utilizing the construction manager, general contractor, or CMGC delivery method. These allocations total approximately $1.27 billion, which includes an amount of approximately $226 million over the programmed amount for those phases. Staff has reviewed the projects and the book items for tabs 78 through 92 and recommends approval.
All right, thank you, Tim. Let's move to public comment first.
Thank you. We do have public comment. I'd like to first call on Michael Brownrigg. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment. Michael Brown.
Sorry,
Please.
yes, thank you. Sorry, I was struggling to find the mic. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I'm Michael Brownrigg, Vice Mayor of Burlingame and a Burlingame Council member since 2009. I appreciate your time. For over 40 years, this Highway 82 through Burlingame, which we all know as El Camino Real, has been one of the most dangerous stretches of highway in the Bay Area. Trees impinge on the highway, they crack curbs, creating potholes, leaning over the highway from failing private retaining walls. Children cross El Camino Real to get to our public schools, mostly at crosswalks, but not always, running a gauntlet of speeding cars and distracted drivers. And the sidewalks in many places look like scenes after a major earthquake with lifted concrete, narrow walkways, and uneven footing. It's a miracle there haven't been more pedestrian, cyclist, and motorist accidents and deaths. That said, it's also one of El Camino's most iconic and beautiful stretches, only 4 lanes wide and largely without strip malls or commerce, with a historic grove of stately eucalyptus lining the highway. It's beautiful, and that means a lot to our city. For decades, our city has battled Caltrans on how best to address this failing highway. Passionate citizens insisted that the state fix the road but preserve all the trees, and Caltrans resisted, saying that fixing the road but not addressing the trees wouldn't be a long-term fix worthy of public funding, and impasse ruled for decades. 8 years ago, as vice mayor, I helped convene a task force to find a resolution. Working hard for over 2 years, Burlingame residents, including members of our Historic Preservation Committee and Caltrans, met in mediated sessions to develop a solution that would safeguard the character of Burlingame while making the highway much safer. That compromise, literally years in the making, is a testament to the way politics and policy should be made. And it's what you see before you today. And we're grateful to Caltrans staff for leaning into this process. I urge you to support this significant and historic investment. The compromise will create a much safer highway for motorists and pedestrians of all ages and abilities, which we owe them, while also preserving the tree-lined character that distinguishes the stretch of Highway 82. Please vote yes.
Thank you so much, Councilmember.
Next, I'd like to call on Peter Stevenson. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Thank you. And Chair Grigsby and commissioners, thank you for your time. My colleague and friend and Vice Mayor, Mr. Brownrigg, articulated very elegantly the situation we're facing with this corridor through our city. It's a vital corridor for San Mateo County overall. And just want to add my voice of support. This has been a corridor that's been suffering from deferred maintenance for more than 4 decades. It becomes a lake during the winters with reoccurring flooding conditions. It's one of the highest high injury network roadways in our city, let alone in the county. But will also bring very, very important and substantial benefits, not only improve pavement conditions, address this reoccurring flooding, but also enhance the safety and accessibility for all users with upgrades to the pedestrian infrastructure. I urge you to vote yes. We've been working very closely with Caltrans, as the Vice Mayor indicated, for more than a decade. We've been very careful with all the planning and the opportunity, and just want to thank Caltrans for all of the collaboration over this past decade. I urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. That is all for public comment.
All right, thank you so much. Any public any comments or questions from the dais? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Bradshaw. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Tabs 93 through 102, Tim.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'll be taking tabs 93 through 102 with a recommendation at the end. Please note changes to tab 93 as identified on the change list. Tabs 93 through 95 are all supplemental fund allocation requests for capital outlay support phases for 3 projects, including culvert rehabilitation and fish passage, bridge rehabilitation and replacement, and a maintenance facility project. Tabs 96 through 102 are all supplemental fund allocations for SHOP projects to complete construction. These projects include major damage, pavement preservation, safety improvements, transportation management systems, and a maintenance facility. These allocations totaled approximately $9.4 million over the previously allocated amounts for these phases. These increases do not account for any prior supplemental or delegated G12 funding already received for these phases. Before giving my recommendation for these items, I'd like to summarize the total SHOP increases. The total increases related to initial allocations that exceed the programmed amount by 20% and supplemental fund requests from the SHOP at the October CTC meeting is approximately $236 million. Cumulatively, for the 25-26 fiscal year, the total increases from the SHOP through projects with initial allocations that exceed the program amount by 20% and supplemental fund requests is approximately $360 million. Staff has reviewed the projects and book items for tabs 93 through 102 and recommends approval.
All right, thank you, Tim. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Commissioner Bradshaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Now we're on to item 103. Kayla.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 103 is an allocation request for an additional $4,567,000 in local partnership formulaic program funds for the right-of-way phase of the State Route 132 West Freeway Expressway Phase 2 project in Stanislaus County. This supplemental amount was programmed and approved at the August 2025 Commission meeting. This action will result in a total of $7,784,000 in formulaic program funds on the right-of-way phase of this project. The additional funds will be used for right-of-way acquisition, and once the project is complete, it will improve safety for all users, reduce congestion and delays, and increase resiliency of the route. Staff recommends approval of this request.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais?
Motion to approve.
So moved by Bradshaw. Is there a second? Seconded by Vice Chair Falcone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're taking tabs 104 and 105. Brandy.
Good morning, Commissioners. I will present tabs 104 and 105 together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 104 is an action item requesting $37,000 in supplemental funds for the construction phase of the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program Project, Sacramento Valley Station Transit Center Priority Projects, Sacramento Downtown Regional Bus Route Consolidation, 5th Street Extension in Sacramento County. Tab 105 is an action item requesting $906,000 in supplemental funds for the construction phase of the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program, Santa Cruz Zero Admissions Intercity Transit Service Expansion Project, Hydrogen Fueling Station Component in Santa Cruz County. Staff has reviewed these requests and finds them consistent with the program's allocation policy and program update. Staff recommends approval of tabs 104 and 105.
All right, thank you, Brandy. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion's approved. Now we're moving on to item 106. John.
Hi, Commissioners. Tab 106 is an information item, reporting on allocations made by Caltrans for emergency projects in the 24-25 fiscal year. The Commission has delegated the authority to Caltrans to allocate funds for emergency projects in Resolution G2111, and that resolution also requires Caltrans to provide an annual report at the completion of the fiscal year, reporting on all the allocations they made in that prior year. At the close of the 24-25 fiscal year, Caltrans approved approximately $857 million in construction contracts on 231 projects from the SHOP major damage reservation. $857 million is a little lower than the past couple years, but still trending higher than our previous 5 or 10-year averages. Weather, winter storms are always a big factor. And then it's for other things like fire, theft, vandalism, stuff like that. Caltrans does report on and staff reviews every single one of the projects that uses this delegation as they come in throughout the year. We do get some federal grants and reimbursements to offset some of these costs through things like FEMA and federal emergency relief funds, but those grants and reimbursements come in future years depending on eligibility of improvements and availability of funds. In fiscal year 24-25, Caltrans received approximately $300 million in federal emergency relief funds. As a reminder, this is an information item. There's no action required. Be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
All right, thank you, John. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais? Hearing none. Thank you, John. Moving on to item 107, Anya.
Commissioners, tab 107 is an action item to amend the 2023 Active Transportation Program Metropolitan Planning Organization component. The Alameda County Transportation Commission has requested approval to segment the East Bay Greenway Multimodal Project Phase 1. Tab 109 on this agenda requests the Commission's approval of a baseline agreement amendment for this project. Staff has reviewed the request and recommends your approval of tab 107.
Thank you, Anya. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais or a motion? So moved by Vice Chair Falcone, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving on to tabs 108 and 109, Naveen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tabs 108 and 109 are action items that will be voted together. Tab 108 is an amendment to the 2022 Solutions for Congested Corridors program as provided in the book item. Tab 109 is an amendment to the multi-funded East Bay Greenway Multimodal North Segment Project Phase 1 baseline agreement approved by the Commission in December 2023. This project was programmed in the 2022 Solutions for Congested Corridors program and the 2023 Active Transportation program. The approval of tabs 107 and 108 necessitate an amendment to the original baseline agreement. These requests are consistent with program guidelines. Therefore, staff recommends your approval of tabs 108 and 109. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Naveen. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? Motion to approve by Commissioner Bradshaw, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved.
Chair, just a quick reminder to all our speakers, if they could slow down a bit on their pace of talking so our translating services can keep up.
All right, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Item 110 is next. Kayla.
Commissioners, tab 110 is an action item to amend the local partnership formulaic program. This amendment will make the following updates to the current formulaic program of projects. First, program $168,000 in supplemental funds to the Santa Barbara US 101 Multimodal Corridor Project, Segment 4E North Cabrillo Interchange in Santa Barbara County, to the construction phase in fiscal year 25-26. This addition of supplemental funds results in a total of $2,679,000 in 2024 formulaic funds on this project phase. The supplemental funds will reduce a portion of local funds that are committed to the project, which is allowable in the program. The project will construct high occupancy vehicle lanes to help reduce congestion and delays, improve goods movement, and provide a more efficient alternative route for north-south connectivity. And add 9 new projects in Contra Costa, San Francisco, Marin, Sonoma, and Sacramento counties, and program a total of $17,543,000 in 2022 and 2024 formulaic funds to various phases in fiscal years 25-26 and 26-27. These 9 projects will provide benefits such as enhanced pavement conditions, bridge preservation, transit safety improvements, and pedestrian and active transportation improvements. More detailed descriptions of each project can be found in the corresponding book item. This action leaves $28,480,000 of 2022 formulaic program funding available for programming through June 30th, 2026, and $89,172,000 of 2024 formulaic program funding available for programming through June 30th, 2028. Staff recommends approval of this item.
All right, thank you so much. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany. Is there a second? So moved, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving on to item 111, Beverly.
Commissioners, tab 111 is a scope amendment request for the City of Oakland Town Rail Safety Improvements Project in Alameda County. The project was programmed with $30,200,000 in Trade Corridor Enhancement Program funds and proposes improvements to an overweight vehicle corridor and 3 at-grade crossings. The City of Oakland is proposing to remove the original 3 at-grade crossings from the scope because it needs more time to work with Union Pacific Railroad on these crossings and will not be able to allocate Trade Corridor Enhancement Program funds by the extended June 30th, 2026 deadline. Instead, the city is proposing improvements to 2 alternate at-grade crossings along the same half-mile segment of Embarcadero West, both of which have already received design package approval from Union Pacific Railroad. The city will deliver the 3 original crossings through the larger Embarcadero West project with Assembly Bill 128 funds, which are already committed. The city estimates that these improvements will be completed by December 2029, which aligns with the expected Trade Corridor Enhancement Program completion date originally programmed. The city and Union Pacific Railroad have submitted letters committing to delivering improvements to both the original and proposed alternate crossings. Although the revised Trade Corridor Enhancement Program scope includes fewer crossings, it targets locations with higher injury and fatality rates and incorporates enhanced safety features, resulting in greater overall safety benefits than the original programmed scope. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
And thank you, Beverly. Is there any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Vice Chair Falcon, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving to item 112, Brandy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 112 is an action item to approve a program amendment for the Proposition 1A High-Speed Passenger Train Bond Program. The Capital Corridor Joint Powers Authority requests to add the Capital Corridor Revamping Accessibility and Performance for the Corridor ID Program, Capital Corridor Rapid Program. Big new sighting. Sorry, we weren't done yet. Project in Santa Clara County and program $1,950,000 in deallocated project cost savings to the construction phase in fiscal year 25-26. The IGNU siting component project will reduce train delays caused by conflicting train movements and congestion near the Great American Station and the junction of 2 main lines at Control Point Coast. These delays result from a single track operation, station activity, and converging rail traffic at Control Point Coast. By mitigating these delays, the project will increase ridership and enhance service reliability. Additionally, the siting will support increased train operations during special events at Levi Stadium. As a result, the project will contribute to the reduction in vehicle miles traveled, greenhouse gas emissions, and other air pollutants. There is a concurrent allocation on the agenda. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval of tab 112.
Thank you so much. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion?
I'm happy to make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. So moved by Commissioner Gardino, seconded by Commissioner Bradshaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving to item 113, Celeste.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 113 is an action item to adopt the fiscal year 25-26 road maintenance and rehabilitation account subsequent report of eligible cities and counties. For jurisdictions to be included in the fiscal year 25-26 subsequent eligibility report, jurisdictions must adopt by resolution a list of projects expected to be funded with the fiscal year program funds for which eligibility is sought. The list and resolution must be received by the Commission no later than September 30th, 2025. The Commission adopted the initial eligibility report at the August Commission meeting, at which time 525 out of the 540 jurisdictions were deemed eligible. Commission staff confirmed that the 14 remaining cities and 1 county identified in Attachment B intended to seek subsequent funding eligibility on or by September 30th. We have since received adopted resolutions from the remaining jurisdictions and confirmed each of their subsequent eligibility. The Commission must adopt and submit the subsequent report of eligible cities and county to the Controller on or by October 30th, 2025. Eligible agencies will begin receiving monthly disbursements from the Controller in November. This marks the 7th cycle which 100% funding eligibility has been obtained. Staff would like to acknowledge the ongoing effort and partnership of the jurisdictions and the regional transportation planning agencies helping us maintain 100% eligibility each year. Staff recommends the Commission adopt the fiscal year 25-26 road maintenance and rehabilitation account, local streets and roads funding subsequent report of eligible cities and county as provided in Attachment B, and direct staff to transmit the list of eligible jurisdictions to the State Controller. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Celeste. Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? Commissioner Tiffany.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate Celeste and her team for, again, 100% 2 years in a row. So congratulations. And I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Vice Chair Falcone. Any other questions or comments from the dais? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving to items tab 114 through 118. Lori.
Commissioners, tabs 114 through 118 will be voted together. Tab 114 is an action item requesting the department's annual allocation of federal funds totaling $2,752,442,000 for fiscal year 25-26. The department's Division of Local Assistance administers the subvention budget under the delegated authority from the Commission. This request is consistent with the Budget Act of 2025. And then tabs 115 through 118, those are for State Transportation Improvement Program project allocations as outlined on the agenda. And these are consistent with the STIPS guidelines. Staff recommends your approval of tabs 114 through 118.
All right, thank you, Lori. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. So moved by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're taking tabs 119 through 121. John.
Yes, tabs 119 through 121 are all action items for shop allocations, and so we'll take all of them together. Tab 119 is an action item for shop construction allocations. There's one small change on the change list, and with that change, this item will allocate $354,845,000 for 23 shop projects. I sometimes like to highlight some of the improvements that will make. These 23 projects will improve 3 bridges, 59 lane miles of pavement, 122 transportation management system elements. That's things like digital signs and cameras and stuff. And in addition to all that, there's a lot of non-primary asset improvements that these projects will be making. Okay, so then tab 120 is an action item for shop pre-construction allocations. There are a couple changes on the change list and then one additional change that we need to make prior to taking action. This additional change is that Caltrans has withdrawn their request for project number 5, identified by EA 03-0J910 or PPNO 03-8385. This is the same Sutter County safety project that was withdrawn from the shop amendments under tab 69. With that change and the other changes that are already noted on the change list, this item will allocate $145,601,000 for 99 shop pre-construction phases for environmental, design, and right-of-way. And then tab 121 is an action item to allocate $13,977,000 for the right-of-way capital phase for the Albion River Bridge project. Most right-of-way capital allocations are delegated to Caltrans under the right-of-way annual allocation. However, right-of-way capital allocations greater than $10 million are required to come to the commission for individual approval. This allocation will fund right-of-way acquisitions, utility relocations, and environmental mitigation obligations for the bridge replacement project. So with that, staff recommends approval of tabs 119, 120, and 121.
All right, thank you, John. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion, question? Pardon me. Any questions, comments, or a motion for the dais?
Motion to approve.
So moved by Commissioner Bradshaw. Do you have a question or a second? Seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're moving on to item 122. Lori.
Commissioners, tab 122 is an allocation request of $461,000 for 4 locally administered local alternative transportation improvement program projects off the state highway. This allocation request is consistent with the program and staff recommends your approval.
All right, thank you, Lori. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, comment, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're going to item 123. Kayla.
Commissioners, tab 123 is an allocation action request for $2,500,000 in local partnership formulaic program funds for the Bascom Complete Streets project in Santa Clara County. The project will construct community identified complete streets and safety improvements on a 3-mile stretch of Bascom Avenue. Staff has reviewed this request and found it to be consistent with program guidelines. Therefore, staff recommends approval of tab 123.
All right, thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
All right, motion, questions, or comment from the dais?
A motion to approve.
Guardino, moved by Commissioner Guardino, seconded by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving on to item 124, Kat.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 124 is an action item requesting an advance allocation of $450,000 to the local transportation climate adaptation programs 14th Street Underpass Stormwater Pump Station Planning Project in Riverside County. The project is focused on addressing the significant and reoccurring flooding issues at the 14th Street Underpass, a critical infrastructure located in Riverside, California. The project will develop improvement plans for a new pump station designed to handle extreme weather events, ensuring that this essential roadway remains functional and secure. The City of Riverside is requesting an advance allocation from fiscal year 2026-27 to the current fiscal year 2025-26 to initiate the environmental phase. Staff has reviewed this request and finds it consistent with the program's guidelines. Staff recommends approval of tab 124.
Thank you, Kat. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais?
I'll make a motion.
So moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Taking, next up, we're taking tabs 125 and 126 together. Jayden.
Commissioners, tabs 125 and 126 are action items to consider approval to allocate $7,762,000 for 9 locally administered active transportation program projects, as well as to consider approval to allocate $912,000 for the state-administered active transportation program Los Alamos Connected Community Project in Santa Barbara County. Please make note of the change list for tab 125. I'd like to highlight a project within each book item before offering a recommendation. Tab 125 contains an allocation of $1,118,000 for the PS&E phase of the Niblick Road Complete and Sustainable Bike and Pedestrian Street Project. This project will construct 8,100 feet of Class 1 bike path, 2,800 feet of new sidewalks, and reconstruct 21 curb ramps to ADA standards, which will provide safe access to school and will benefit multiple disadvantaged communities. Additionally, the project within tab 126 will construct pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure for 0.9 miles of State Route 135 to connect residential areas to downtown Community Corridor and Olga Reed Elementary School in Los Alamos. Staff has reviewed tabs 125 and 126 and recommends your approval.
All right, thank you, Jayden. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais?
Motion approved.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor?
Commissioner Bradshaw.
Oh, that was Bradshaw. I apologize, brother. So,
No worries. I'm honored.
I just heard a voice down that direction.
Tiffany's way more stable. I take it as a compliment.
All right, so moved by Commissioner Bradshaw, seconded by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving on to tabs 127 and 128. Brandy.
Commissioners, I will present tabs 127 and 128 together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 127 is an action item to approve allocations totaling $78,912,000 for 13 transit and intercity rail capital program projects. And I would like to highlight one project on that list. And here comes those long names again. The expanding transit service and introducing zero emissions fleets on California's North Coast Intermodal Transit and Housing Center project in Humboldt County for $10,308,000. With Cal Poly Humboldt projected to double in size to about 12,000 students in the next 7 years, the existing housing shortage will be further exacerbated. HTA's Innovative Transit Center, the Eureka Regional Transit and Housing Center, also known as Earth Center, will not only integrate local and intercity bus services with rideshare, bicycle and paths and pedestrian travel, but also provide workforce and student housing, a child care center, retail and open space, co-located with transit at the center. This project will support strategies to meet the demand of an improved transit infrastructure, workforce, and housing 16 development. Through match funding, the Earth Center will provide housing for students, staff, and faculty, and a convenient 20-minute transit commute to the university on zero-emission bus. Okay. And then tab 128 is an action item to approve an allocation for $6,950,000 for the locally administered multi-funded transit and intercity rail capital program and Proposition 1A high-speed passenger trail bond program. Here we go. Capital Corridor revamping accessibility and performance for the Corridor IED program transit project in Santa Clara County. Staff has reviewed these requests and finds it consistent with the program's allocation policy and program update. I do have a note. Please note the updates to the project project number 6, 10, and 13 as reflected on the change list. And staff recommends approval of tabs 127 and 128.
All right, thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moves by,
I'd happy to second your motion.
yeah?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Yeah.
So moved by Commissioner Gardino, seconded by Vice Chair Falcone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Bunch of state goals all in one item. That's great.
Yeah.
Now we're taking tabs 129 through 139. Justin.
Thank you, Commissioners. I will be addressing tabs 129 through 139 together. These are action items consisting of time extension requests for projects from the following programs: State Highway Operation and Protection Program, State Transportation Improvement Program, Local Partnership Program, Trade Corridor Enhancement Program, Active Transportation Program, and the Transit Intercity Rail Capital Program. Staff has reviewed these requests and determined they are consistent with the program guidelines. Please note the change list for tabs 136. Staff recommends your approval of tabs 129 through 139.
All right, thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, comment, or a motion from the dais?
Motion to approve.
So moved by Bradshaw, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're moving to items 140 through 143. Justin.
Tabs 140 through 143 are action items for your consideration regarding the approval of time extension amendments as expectations to the SHOP guidelines. Tab 140 is an amendment to the project allocation period for a SHOP roadway rehabilitation project in Fresno County. Tab 141 is an amendment to the contract award period for a SHOP Protect program project in Alameda County. Tab 142 is an amendment to the project completion period for a SHOP collision reduction project in Placer County. Tab 143 is an amendment to the project development expenditure period for 2 SHOP projects. Commission staff has reviewed these requests and recommends approval of tabs 140 to 143.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, comment, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Apologies. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Bradshaw. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Moving to items 144 and 145. Kenneth.
Commissioners, I will present tabs 144 and 145 together with the recommendation at the end. Tab 144 is a request to amend a previously approved construction allocation time extension for 2 Trade Corridor Enhancement Program projects, including the EV Oasis South B TA Wheeler Ridge project in Kern County and the EV Oasis South A Petro Ontario project in San Bernardino County. In June 2025, Caltrans requested 4 additional months to allocate construction funds for each project due to high demand and limited supply of equipment necessary to begin project construction. Additionally, Caltrans needed more time to complete utility reviews and permits to receive all necessary approvals to begin construction. Caltrans is now requesting 8 additional months for each project. After the Commission approval of the original 4-month time extensions, tariff led to higher material costs, prompting design changes and subsequent revisions to the project documents in an effort to mitigate those increased costs. Also, refinements to the microgrid control system and coordination across partners require additional time not originally anticipated. If approved, this amendment would bring the total allocation time extension to 12 months, which aligns with the allowable time under the Trade Corridor Enhancement Program guidelines. Tab 145 is a request to amend a previously approved project completion time extension for the multi-funded Trade Corridor Enhancement Program, Local Partnership Formulaic Program, Proposition 1B Trade Corridors Improvement Fund Program, and Interstate Transportation Improvement Program, Interstate 10 Corridor Express Lanes Contract 1 project in San Bernardino and Los Angeles counties. Please note that all state transportation improvement program funds programmed to the project have been fully expended, so the state transportation improvement program is not included in this time extension amendment request. In June of 2018, at the time of construction allocation, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority was granted 30 additional months to complete the project as allowed under program guidelines. In March 2024, the Commission approved a 20-month project completion time extension due to the impact of the COVID pandemic, construction progress not being made by the contractor, and delays caused by utility issues and unexpected weather events. The San Bernardino County Transportation Authority is now requesting 38 additional months to complete the project due to continued performance issues with the prime contractor. Specifically, the prime contractor failed to meet production rates, and its slower pace affected the delivery of major components of the project, including retaining wall construction, roadway paving, electrical and communication systems, essential utility and drainage infrastructure, and the implementation of the tolling system. Despite the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority's repeated efforts to address the contractor's performance issues through formal noncompliance reports, continuous engagement, and ongoing oversight, the contractor struggled to maintain an adequate labor force, further impacting the schedule and quality of construction. Additionally, the prime contractor failed to pay project subcontractors on time, further delaying the project. Ultimately, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority was compelled to remove the contractor from the project and is now in litigation with the contractor. When the prime contractor was removed, the agency was required to find a new contractor for the landscaping components of the project, which still remain. And this component also required a new design package and bidding process. Work on the project's primary improvements is complete, and program funds are nearly fully expended. However, some closeout tasks still need to be completed, including landscaping, plant establishment, and punch list items. Given these extraordinary circumstances, staff recommends approval of a 38-month project completion time extension amendment for the Trade Corridor Enhancement Program, Local Partnership Formula Program, and Proposition 1B Trade Corridors Improvement Fund Program. As mentioned previously, the State Transportation Improvement Program funds programmed to the project have been fully expended, so the State Transportation Improvement Program is not included in this action. Commissioners, staff recommends approval of tabs 144 and 145, noting that the State Transportation Improvement Program is excluded from the tab 145 action.
All right, thank you, Kenneth. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany. Is there seconded by Commissioner Bradshaw? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're moving to tabs 146 and 147. Jaden.
Thank you. Commissioners, tabs 146 and 147 are action items to consider approval of time extensions to amend the period of contract award for 2 locally administered active transportation program projects in Los Angeles County, as well as to consider approval of a time extension to amend the period of project development expenditure for the locally administered active transportation program Safe Routes to School Panorama City Elementary School project. All of these projects are in Los Angeles County and were affected by the Southern California fires. The time extension requests are consistent with the interim timely use of funds policy 2024 and 2025 Southern California fires, Resolution G2521. Staff has reviewed tabs 146 and 147 and recommends your approval.
All right, thank you, Jaden. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to approve or
Well,
question?
first, I missed saying take us home, Jaden, and you did. You took us home. With that, I'll make a motion.
All right, so moved by Commissioner Eager, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're going to move to public comment. Is there any?
I'm not seeing any public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to recognize Paul G.
I just wanted to make 2 comments before we close out this meeting. So first, I wanted to acknowledge that Senator Cortese had intended to join today's meeting virtually, but unfortunately he encountered some technical difficulties and was not able to log on, but wanted to acknowledge him. And then second, I wanted to again acknowledge Merced and our partners at MCAG and Stacy Guzman for hosting us. They were juggling a lot. They took us on a tour yesterday. They welcomed us here. They helped with the reception. And what I did not know until I was talking to Stacy yesterday at the reception is they had their own board meeting yesterday afternoon going on. So I know it's difficult for smaller agencies sometimes to host the commission, and really want to acknowledge how seamless it was. And thanks again, Stacy.
All right, thank you. I'd like to turn to Commissioner Eager to lead us in adjournment.
Yes,
memory.
thank you. Oh,
Oh, I
comment
apologize.
first.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just wanted to make a comment really
Okay,
quick. I
for
just
sure.
wanted to kind of piggyback on Paul's comments and really want to thank MCAG and Stacy and staff and cities of Merced and Atwater and the county of Merced for really hosting a wonderful gathering and welcoming us with open arms. And the tour was very impactful for us to see all the exciting economic development and mobility projects that you're all endeavoring to hopefully complete. And it's great to have a partnership with you. And thank you again for hosting us.
Yes, I think we all agree with that. I'd like to move to Commissioner Eager to lead us.
Yes, thank you. And as we said before, today we'd like to adjourn in memory of those lives that were lost on State Route 41 South between Fresno and Kings County. So thank you.
Thank you. Want to do a moment of silence or moment of silence? Thank you. All right, thank you for your attendance. We are adjourned.
For the interpreters, are you guys done with the meeting for the entire day?
Hi, this is Kat with the commission. Yes, when they adjourn the meetings, usually the meeting's done for the day.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm because we were scheduled for a lot later. So I just wanted to know before we logged off.
Yeah, no, they got done really, we got done really quick today. So yeah, they're done for the day.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.